What's up, guys? Welcome to your Bitcoin update. We're going to be taking a look at the Dow Jones, gold, the DXY, which is the dollar index. We'll also look at XRP. Definitely stick around for the whole video. A lot of interesting stuff. We talked a little bit about the black swan yesterday. Is that possibly what's happening? We're going to talk about it. Don't forget, there's a free Discord group in the link below in the description. Definitely check it out. Let's get into it. All right, guys, as always, this is not financial advice, trading advice, nor is it investment advice. There is a disclaimer scrolling on the bottom. Make sure you read it. And do not forget to leave your comment for your chance to win the Ledger Nano S giveaway. We do that every Sunday. All you have to do is make sure you're subscribed to the channel, tick the notification bell to get you notified when I post videos, smash that like, and leave your comment. I'll pick a random comment on Sunday. Looking at the fear and greed index, we're at 78, dropped 2 points from yesterday, still in the extreme greed zone. Looking at the Dow Jones, we've been watching this top trend line. It does look like we are having a fake out to the top. If not, what would the measured move be? That would mean that we will go way up into the 45,000 for the Dow. That could be years ahead if that was to happen, but I don't think it is. I believe this is a bull trap here. I know there's tons of people out there saying that the Dow is just going to continue up. The Fed's just going to continue printing money. It could be right, but as of right now, if you look at the daily, we're going to be printing more bearish divergence, which is lower highs in the RSI. It's going to be higher highs up here. We've been talking about this trend line. We did close right on it yesterday. Let's watch, see how the daily closes today. Next time we open and close a candle above this, I get very bearish on the Dow. There's a lot going on today. We'll see what happens. I know there's differences in opinions of what's going to happen today. It's going to be interesting either way it goes. So I think that's going to have a lot to do with what goes on in the market. Looking at gold, gold is getting a nice push up today. I'm still expecting the gold down to this 1640 range. Funny thing is, gold's pumping, Bitcoin is dropping. Are people exiting the more speculative asset, going into the less speculative? Possibly. As you guys know, we've been watching the Dow. It is looking good still. People are saying that the dollar's dead. It's just going to go to zero, that they've overprinted money, inflation, blah, blah, blah. What we've been watching here is these two fractals right here, these two falling wedges. I do believe we're going to see the same thing again, which would mean probably a year or more of upside for the dollar. As you can see, this is the 3-day chart. Let me zoom out a little bit just so you can see what's going on. The measured move of that was 100 would have been the measured move from the breakout of here. We obviously went a little bit above that, peaked above it. So if we do that again, we're looking at around that 100 again, somewhere in that range, 99, within the next year or so, maybe. But that's what I'm looking at as a breakout here. If you take a close look at this, all the EMAs and everything are lining up the exact same way. It is ready to take off here. I had said yesterday in the week, but these are 3-day candles. Could be a couple weeks, but I do believe when we break out of this wedge, it's going to be a massive move to the upside. Let's take a look at some more indicators with this. And looking at the RSI again, this is the 3-day. We are testing the top of that triangle now. Like I said, within the next week or two, and it could even happen today, we should break up out of this and get a nice boost for the dollar. As you can see, it's playing the same in the RSI here, playing the same up here. And if you look closely at the MACD, circle these two areas, it's doing the exact same thing it done last time. Everything looks just perfect in my opinion. So let's take a look at what's going on in Bitcoin. If you guys remember yesterday, I had talked about this hidden bearish divergence, which is higher highs in the RSI, lower highs in the price action, expect a drop, which we got. It looks like we have more room to drop here, guys. And as you guys know, I've been looking for the 32, which it would be a retest of this bottom of this rising wedge. I'm going to move that over a little bit, so it's around 32.3. If we were to drop down to here today, of course we have the 200 EMA sitting around 31.7. remember guys, now yesterday we had the 38.7 that we were watching for a possible break if we broke up, and now we're looking more towards the 37.9 to 38. Let's say if we pass 38 today, then we're probably going to the upside, and the measured move for that would be somewhere in the $51,000 range. That doesn't mean it shoots up in one candle, guys. That could take week, 2 weeks, whatever, but that would be the target if we break above this trend line here. Now in the same, looking at it in the same case, it could come up and shoot directly down and get a bull trap here. But we talked about what's going on here. As you can see, we had two touches on this top trend line within this wedge here. And if we go back to March, this is why I was talking about a black swan event possible. I still believe it's very possible. As you can see, we had the two touches here, and then to not quite touch it on the second, went down, broke through the wedge. If you guys remember back then, I was calling 53. People called me crazy and said I was just full of FUD. Well, you see what happened. And I think there's a very, very good case that that could happen again. We also have some other targets. If we do break through that 32.3 range, my next target would be looking at this as an ABC correction. This would be A, this would be B, and going to C would be around the 28.4, which is the one-to-one extension. If you pull out your fibs, put it up to the top, which is right here, and then go down to the bottom of wave A and back up to B. I don't know what happened. It disappeared. But if we put the one-to-one extension, that would get us down to that one-to-one extension right here, which is actually right around 28.5, somewhere in that range. I do expect us to most likely hit those levels. We could also look at a smaller one within here that I want to show you guys real quick. This being A, this one being, again, this is just a smaller one within it. This would create the next wave. This one gets us right to that 38.3 level. Let me get this channel out of here so you can see it. But if we do the same thing just on this smaller scale, ABC, the one-to-one extension would get us actually right down to about 31.7. So watch this bottom trend line though, guys. That's going to be extremely, extremely important here. Watching that 32.3 area, break of that, I see 28.4, and now that's if that's a ABC, and then it would be bullish and continue up from there. This could also be, I will show you what else I'm looking at here. Definitely stick around, because in the end, I'm going to show you why the RSI is a key factor on the daily close today. You're going to want to see that. Stick around. But anyways, let's take these off of here. Let's look at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Elliott wave. This would be 1, 2, 3 would be the 1.618, and then 3 would be coming back up to this range somewhere, and then 5 could be all the way down to around the 12.5, and that 12.5 being, it's actually probably going to be lower than that now. If we were to break here today or tonight around that, yeah, that's about where it would be. So that would get us around that $12,500 range. No, not in one straight candle. This may take months. We're going to talk about that too. You have to watch the whole video to get a feel for what's going on. I do believe there's a possibility we've topped here, and I'm going to stick to that unless we break out of this and break this 3,800 range. Let's go to the next chart. Oh no, the Prime XBT. If you guys haven't tried it yet, I suggest you check it out. It's by far my favorite exchange. I'll leave a tutorial on how to do their margin up top. They have a great setup on the format. You can put up multiple charts. You can trade Bitcoin, EOS, Litecoin, XRP, gold, silver, oil, S&P, Dow Jones, natural gas, everything all on one exchange without having to switch back and forth to other exchanges. And you can put in multiple trades, both longs and shorts in at the same time. So if you want to, you know, do a long-term trade, short-term trades in the middle, scalps, whatever, you can do it all on here. You can use my promo code Savy50 That'll get you 50% on top of whatever you deposit. So if you put in a Bitcoin, you get a half a Bitcoin as a bonus to use towards your margin. Savy 25 will get you 25% off your fees. And let's take a look at this thing. I'm going to show you my other reasons for being bearish here. As you can see, I overlaid the dollar chart on the Bitcoin chart here. Every time the dollar bottoms, Bitcoin is topped or near its top. If we put this, bring Bitcoin up, every time the dollar tops, Bitcoin bottoms. So keep that in mind. This trend line down here, very important for the dollar. And as you can see, every time it hits, the dollar has bottomed, and we have hit it. As you can see over here, we did come back down and hit it again. That's still a possibility. I know a lot of people still think there's another leg down for the dollar, although I don't, but could be. If we do come back, test it one more time and go up, so be it. This chart here, this is on the log chart of Bitcoin. Everybody says you got to use the log chart for macro, blah, blah, blah. You can totally manipulate this any way you want. There's people that have this top art going way up and saying we're going to 200,000, whatever. Well, I manipulated it and it says we're topped out. Not saying this is right. I'm just showing you don't believe those log charts. All right, looking at the linear chart. I'm looking at this as a giant Elliott wave 5 count where wave 3 would end at the end of this year. Now, this is the bullish case. I've been talking about this for a while. There is 5 subways within this third wave. So in the bullish case, if we do come down to one of these Fibonacci retracement areas, which the 0.236 is at 33,000, 27.5 at the 0.382, 23.1 at the 0.5. Then we had the 0.618 golden pocket zone around 18.4. And then, of course, if we go below 14, that invalidates this count. But that would be ending in June. I've been talking about this forever. Check my weeks back videos. This is where I'm looking for wave 4 to end sometime in June. It should be around the same size as 2 in length time, you know, in timing. So that would bring us around June. If we get that bounce up, then we're good to go. We could get a 5th leg up by the end of the year. But people have been conditioned in Bitcoin to think it's always going to do the same thing. Hence, buy the dip, DIP, duped into purchasing. That's how I look at it. Institutions will use those opportunities. They know when people are going to buy, and they can wait for it to pump up and sell in to keep getting high price for the Bitcoins when they sell them. And I mean, that's just how markets work. People think that it's going to continue doing one thing over and over and over, and then it doesn't. And that's how people get wrecked. Just be cautious. I'm not saying it can't continue up. I'm just saying you need to be cautious. Don't get caught up in all the FOMO crap. And usually when tops form, they make a triangle. And what these are, and this is another thing before I get into it, this is the Bitcoin funding rate. This shows there was a lot more longs back here in March before we had our big Black Swan event. I do believe we are looking like we're going to do the same thing right over here. And what I was talking about, Bitcoin likes to form triangles at its tops. What happens is the big boys, smart money institutions, OGs that have a lot of Bitcoin, however you want to look at it, they usually sell these tops. People are always looking for a reason to buy the dip. And they know this. People buy, it pumps back up. If they would continue selling, they would get less and less for their Bitcoin all the way down. So they stop where they know people will buy the dip. It pumps back up. They sell into that pump again. They just keep waiting till these pumps come to dump more. So if you think about it, if you had 1,000 Bitcoin, you just keep selling them without waiting for the price to go back up, you're just going to get less and less and less. Just be careful. And they say Bitcoin's not decentralized. I'm not against Bitcoin. I believe in Bitcoin can succeed in the long run, possibly, but there's no guarantees. There is 100 wallets that have enough Bitcoin in to just crush Bitcoin alone. So being decentralized and not counting on one or more people is not quite the proper way to look at it, in my opinion. Another thing we got to look at is the Wall Street cheat sheet. You had the disbelief stage where you take off, blow up to the top. You go through optimism, belief, thrill, euphoria. I think we've seen our euphoria stage. I could be wrong, but I think we've seen it. And I think we're in the complacency stage, which is right here, before continuing down. And I'll show you why. This is where I was talking about watch the daily. The daily RSI close. As you can see, look at this top back here. I've showed you guys the resemblance of all these with the rising wedge, and when it breaks out, everything matches up beautifully. If we look at the RSI, you can see it signified that we were at the top, and this was after that complacency stage when we broke through the bottom of this. We are breaking through right now. Let's see how it closes. But we did the same thing back here. We had, I've put arrows on it so you can see, but we had our 3 touches and then broke through. 1, 2, 3. We are breaking through right now. Let's see where it closes today. It could close back above it, and that would be more in the bullish case. But as you can see, when it broke down here, it usually comes up to retest it. You get some more pumps up. So, like, contrary to people's belief, when you think it's already topped, it doesn't mean it goes straight down. You're going to have huge bounces in here because these bounces are going to get people to buy back in. So the bigger money can sell at the top. Let's zoom in and I'll show you this real quick, and then we'll take a quick look at XRP. As you guys know, I've been showing this for quite a while, how we get these rising channels, we break out of it, we eventually come back down, back through them. We did it. This will be the 3rd one if it plays out this way, which I do think it will. Every time we come back down to this area here, we come right around where we broke out, and it looks like we're setting bottom there. We did it at 6,000 here, and then we came back down to this level here, which was the 2nd hump, and broke through capitulation. Same thing, we did the exact same thing over here. We come right around that breakout zone, right across from breakout zone. And this one was a little bit different, but we still ended up coming back down, capitulating. So they're not going to play out the exact same, but I think it's going to be very similar. And as you can see right here, around the 14.4 would be the place to look like a bottom. And that would keep people, remember I said if we fall below 14, then obviously we're not going to continue up. If we go below 14, we know we're coming down to this area. Yes, I still believe it's possible to see a sub 10,000 Bitcoin, and this is why. The similarities are scary. Just be careful. Again, I could be wrong. This could just be another phase before one more push up. You can see we did get a push up over here in 2017. After I had a big fall, it came back up, just wicked above it and went straight back down, probably to grab anybody that shorted up here and put their stops above it. We could possibly see something like that, so be aware of that. But otherwise, it looks like it's going to play out similar to what happened over here. That would mean that the bull market ended 1 year early this time, because everybody thinks it has to go till December. And if that's the case, then we're starting a multi-year bear market. Again, not saying it's a guarantee, but you need to look at it both ways, guys. All the people up here that were buying up here back in 2017 waited a long time. 3 years before it even came back around there. So if you don't need the money and you're just piling money in, you could be safe. Again, there's no guarantees Bitcoin is even going to work, although I like the idea. But that's all it is. It's pure speculation. This is a speculation hype pump and then a correction, 80 to 90% every time. Hype, speculation pump and correction. Hype, speculation pump, and boom. XRP, still looking for our 4 cents. I do believe we will get there, guys. I do believe it matches up with everything else and all the other charts. If you guys enjoyed the channel, check out my wife's webpage, inkyorimage.com. A lot of cool stuff on here. She can do a lot with family pictures or whatever designs, anything you want. She can put on any of this stuff. There's also a Bitcoin section. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel by clicking the CryptoSavvy logo above my head. Smash that like button. Leave your comment below. Share the video if you liked it. And I'm out. See you tomorrow.